The videos I made on Crow before this one really focused on Crow possibly faking disabilities as well as lies and some mistreatment about the dogs. I didn't go super in depth about certain dogs or maybe even the ones that really deserved it, so I would like to make a video dedicating to each and every dog and their behavior and story, along with more and new screenshots of what has happened thus far. This video did take a long time to make because I had to collect certain screenshots and videos from a long time ago, and I had to go through files and files of that, so it took me a bit. None of Crow's service dogs have retired normally because they were never trained to begin with. They developed reactivity, aggression, or they were just not trained up to the standard to be a service dog. There will be timestamps in the description if you want to follow a specific dog in particular or skip over certain parts, but as always, I will have the timestamps below. Sometimes I put them in at a later date because when I upload these, I'm usually very tired, but they will be in there eventually. Before we start officially, whenever I talk about a service dog being distracted or barking or making a mistake, I am not saying that in general that dog is not a service dog or doesn't know tasks. I am speaking from the context of knowing Crow's dogs and on Crow's dogs only. Please don't apply my words to very nuanced situations where there is more context, because what I am saying is only going to apply to this video in these situations. With that being said, let's start.
Is trained to listen to me if I start stuttering my words because of fear. It's almost like that's because he's a service animal and he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Whoa, okay.
I don't know if you can confirm that that case was closed.
Because he took it over, no, unfortunately not my incident anymore, it's not.
Sit. Sit. I know, that's why Oakley's getting a little overwhelmed.
Perhaps with the proper training and handling, Benson could have made a service dog, but unfortunately with Crow, he was deemed to fail. Being out in public stressed him out very badly, and those signs were very obvious in each video that Crow uploaded. In this clip, you can see Benson fixating on another dog or distraction, and Crow does have to pull him away forcefully as he is resisting the head halter. While Crow knows that Benson is reactive to dogs, or at the very least gets distracted by them, Crow continues to work him in public.
Go. Ignore. Walk. 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 That's a good job. Walk. Yes. Boy. Keep going. Come on. Let's go. Yes. Good boy.
Benson was a danger to other dogs, and we will soon find out towards people as well. Even while walking down the street, Benson is constantly looking at something, whether it's a noise, another dog, or a person. He is always getting distracted. He is very hesitant to do tasks when it normally takes Crow asking him 2 or 3 times for him to do it, because Benson is so uncomfortable in the situations that Crow puts him in. He's not properly trained or desensitized to the public to do these tasks. Being around Crow in general always has Benson on high alert or very uncomfortable. He gives lip licks, moving his head away, and with the context given here, it is very clear that Benson is not enjoying being a service dog or really being around Crow in general. Most clips that Crow has tries to angle the camera more towards their feet so you can't see Benson getting distracted, but that doesn't stop the camera from catching clips of Benson looking towards other things, looking behind him while on the job. You can see in this clip Crow trying to get Benson to do forward momentum, and he is refusing.
Go. Go. Go.
Probably because he has no idea what's happening, and he is also very stressed in doing this stress shaking. I think Crow maybe teaches him a little bit and then completely gives up and it just wants content. In my last video, I did say you can make your own decision whether you think Crow is holding Benson down in this photo, but given the context, I do believe whenever DPT is involved, Crow has to hold Benson down. As if being stressed in public was not good enough, Benson also was stressed in his own home.
Okay, everybody meet our demo dog for this demonstration. Try and fucking kill me for doing this. Get back here, demonstration. Get back here. You're my demonstration. Come here. Come. He's like, fuck this shit. So basically, this is how you're gonna do this. He puts up with it. He's not gonna act violent because I do this shit to him all the time and he's used to it.
I do also want to put it out there that Benson was very clearly neglected of his grooming needs, so this means basic care he was deprived from.
You don't know the difference between a curly-coated dog and a matted dog without telling me, because, like, man, this dog ain't matted for shit. This comb would get snagged if there was a mat. It would not glide through his fur if there was a mat. So, clearly don't know the difference, so you should clearly stop talking.
The only time I believe that Crow interacted with him or bothered him was whenever they wanted to make TikToks or clips showcasing their disability and would have Benson right in the center of it. In the clips that we saw in my last video and that I'm about to show again here, it is clearly showing Benson has a type of reactivity towards dogs.
Having to leash him for a bit, because there's another doggy. Good job, yes.
I believe Benson is dangerous around other dogs. Eventually, like I said, Crow started posting about his reactivity being blamed on the fact he was attacked. In my opinion, I don't think that's what happened. I think that is something Crow worked up towards because in this video, Benson clearly attacks the other dog.
Get my black removed from my hair. I'm doing great. Whoa! Okay. Okay, whoa! Get the dog! Get your dog!
Crow tries to frame this as that pet dog attacking Benson, but you can see Benson lunge behind Crow's legs and try to nip the dog's hind legs. The dog wasn't even near him to bite, and Benson started that. It becomes a theme in all of Crow's dogs that, again, never leaves the in-training status, would become reactive or become attacked, and Crow would continue working them for social media. They do try to justify it, saying, oh, service dog can make mistakes and it's okay. But in my opinion, this is too severe. Crow at one point even went to a Facebook group to ask about their dog showing reactivity and aggression and what to do, and saying that Crow had pulled Benson from the public. We are going to see in the future of Benson's stories and the others that Crow immediately put Benson back into work. Here is proof of Crow putting Benson back into training in the public after pulling him, and it was clear that he should not have been in public access.
He's doing so good. He's not barking at any other dogs anymore for the most part. He makes some mistakes here and there with whining and stuff. But other than that, he's doing really good.
Crow just wants those points and sympathy. Multiple times, Benson has been pulled and taken a break before being put back into work, and of course he is never ready because he cannot be a service dog. The image is done. Or perhaps it was never there to begin with that he could be a service dog. They claim they took a month off to make Benson a service dog. He's back and not barking at most dogs, according to Crow's words. Crow was never fully clear about Benson retiring fully or not. One moment Benson would be retired, and then the next he wouldn't be retired, and it was a ping pong game. I don't see how anyone can look at this behavior and think it's okay to retire a dog that many times and continuously putting them in service work when it's clearly not working. Related to tasks, Crow would try to justify using weight-related tasks on Benson, who is much smaller than Crow.
Talk about this. Benson is 25 pounds, a micro mini golden doodle.
Saying that because they have an eating disorder, it would not be that big of a deal. I'm not going to comment on whether they do or did have one or not, because that is not my business, but whether you did have one or not, you still should not be doing weight-related tasks on this dog. That is very unethical, and he is very small.
They think I'm doing mobility on my 6-month-old dog.
Oh, I have a counterbalance handle for one of Benson's harnesses, so if another dog came up, I could easily pick him up and have him in my arms out of the way, so he didn't get attacked, and people automatically assumed I was being attacked. Yeah, put your face through. Well, come on, put it. Before you say, oh, you shouldn't use a handle, he's small. This is a 6-inch handle. Like,
Crow's behavior towards Benson is very disrespectful, and they just have no care whether he's uncomfortable or at his threshold, and they continue to poke and prod him for the camera. Crow also uses an e-collar with Benson, and I'm generally not against tools being used on service dogs. I don't care. I do think Crow simply wanted him off leash just to have him off leash, and even had to correct him in this clip because Benson was looking at another dog.
Okay, I'll take that.
Leave it. Leave it. Come here. Come on. Good boy.
Okay, I'll take that.
I don't think Benson was safe off leash, and I am very glad that no dog got hurt, as far as I'm aware anyways. This may be a smaller nitpick, I suppose, but in this photo, Crow is seen having no regard for other animals or other people's boundaries and space. They were putting this lizard on top of Benson like it's funny and mishandling this lizard in the car. Come to find out, that's not even Crow's lizard. Their friend was driving, and Crow took the lizard outside of the box without their permission and started fucking around with it. And this shows just how disrespectful Crow is towards everyone around them. I did not cover Nifty's story as much in my last video because there wasn't a whole lot of information I had at the time. Nifty's story will be between Crow and another person, a new character if you will. Nifty was never trained to any type of standard, and honestly, I think Nifty is probably one of the least trained dogs in my opinion, because at least the other dogs stayed in a somewhat of a heel. Nifty never received any sort of baseline training. Nifty was also reactive, fixated on a lot of things, and was neglected by Crow. We will begin with the service work that Nifty did, and every single clip that Nifty was doing looked very stressful. Nifty was panting extremely heavily in every clip. Crow would play off the improper heel as a task.
Claim of yours, shall we? Let's go over this dramatic claim of yours, shall we? You claim that Nifty was nowhere near ready for non-pet friendly stores. I slapped an SDIT vest on her, and no ethical trainer would approve of this. You claim this because she was, on your words, pulling all over, looking down every aisle and pulling, so she's a fake. Let's take a look at the video you're claiming this about, shall we? Because it's going to show something different. This is the video. As you can see, the dog is completely under control, looking down the aisles, which is a task done for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It is known to help people with PTSD to the point, even in the Americans Disabilities Act, right here is a screenshot from the ADA, they talk about tasks like this being used for people with PTSD. The dog was under control, performing a task for a disability. So where that was makes her a fake and not ready for non-pet friendly, I would love to know. It wasn't till like a month after being an SDIT till she went to non-pet friendly places. So.
Again, there is more context. We know that this is not a trained task because Nifty never went through that level of training that we will find out in the future. Nifty had very high energy towards smaller animals, and in this clip, Crow says that Nifty broke the tie-on that was on Nifty. In my opinion, I think Nifty probably saw prey and jumped after it and snapped the line, but it could also be that Nifty was just bored out of her fucking mind. Crow did have to move away from Vermont, and while they did that, they couldn't bring Nifty. They temporarily placed Nifty into their old roommate's hands. This person is called WanderingPaws. I believe their name is also Rebecca. WanderingPaws is an animal hoarder who prides themselves in all of their fucking animals they own, as well as their amazing training, but we will discuss that in a moment. Before Crow had left Nifty temporarily rehomed to Rebecca, Crow also would leave Nifty in her crate for hours at a time and never clean out the crate. This is dog shit encrusted in the bed.
And I was leaving, Crow responsible for her care of her own dogs unless she asked me otherwise. And she went into the hospital one time, and I went down. She had Nifty in the crate, and I did find an excessive amount of poop. She had been telling me that she was pottying Nifty after I went to work, while I was at work, and after I went to bed at night. And unfortunately, Crow, in her depression, did not find it in herself to ask for my help when she should have asked for my help. to potty Nifty if she wasn't, you know, gonna step up and do it.
The clips I'm gonna show are fairly recent, as well a lot of clips from WanderingPaws' own mouth about the situation, and I will expand on it with screenshots, of course. I will play the clip of Nifty being left there and why, and how her other dog hates Nifty.
So Crow took 2 out of their 3 labs to Vermont with them. Nifty is still with me while they finish healing from their tail amputation from Happy Tail, and while Crow finds a job and gets settled in. Nifty's tail has healed up to the point where she's not really going after her tail, which is great. We are leaving the 2 types of cones on her as a precaution, but we are giving her more long leash time, some off leash time, some time to play with Edith, though not Butters because Butters doesn't like her, and giving her Astrid's kennel run downstairs now that we can reduce some of the precautions. So,
despite the fact that her dogs don't love Nifty, she constantly put them in a room together. There's a lot of tense and uncomfortable behavior you can see. She clearly ignores the fact that her dog is uncomfortable around Nifty. Nifty is being quite obnoxious and is younger than this dog, and this dog is very stiff and not really reciprocating the playfulness that Nifty is showing. This happens in another clip when all 3 dogs are together, and mind you, Nifty and Butters do not get along. Paws says that they tolerate each other now, but I still think that this is dangerous because I don't believe Paws is a responsible person. Whenever Nifty is being, again, obnoxious towards this dog, the older dog ceases her playfulness and stands straight again because Nifty is making her uncomfortable. Nothing is done about that. Eventually, Crow does go back to Vermont, and here is what WanderingPaws has to say about that.
So, as you noticed, I still have Nifty and Crow is back in Vermont. So what happened? Crow took a several-day Greyhound trip back to Vermont, which is going to be difficult enough with 2 dogs, and it's going to be even more difficult with 3 dogs, plus Greyhound only lets you take service dogs on there, and Nifty hasn't finished their training for that, due to delays with medical issues, including the Happy Tail. And we might actually have a career change in mind for Nifty, and that will still be with Crow. She will go to Crow, hopefully in February. In the meantime, now that she's getting along with Butters and that I've had a chance to observe that she's not going after her tail, she has been freed of both e-collars, and she gets to spend a lot of time upstairs with the coonhounds, getting more socialization that she needed, and getting more adventures because now I can walk them together. Crow has asked me to work on her loose leash walking, which I will do. particularly when she's wearing a martingale collar instead of a harness, because Crow tends to walk her dogs on collars or head halters. And so that gives me an out for just getting her energy needs met sometimes and not focusing on loose leash walking by having her in a harness.
Now, as stated before, Nifty does have a very strong prey drive, to the point that it is a little concerning. WanderingPaws and Crow would make fun of this and tease it over some really weird and strange behavior from Nifty. At some point, Nifty would even stare at an empty enclosure for over 20 minutes, as stated here. Just stare and not move. Very fixated on this cage. Then in another clip of WanderingPaws claiming it is 6 hours later, I'm sure not 6 hours straight, I would hope.
Later, still no creature sighted. 6 hours later.
There are clips of Crow encouraging this barking and staring towards enclosures, as I will show here. This is when Crow was still there.
Hey, dog sport community, because some of y'all are on my page now. You want to know what the dumbest thing I've been blacklisted for by the service dog community was? My barn hunt dog being around rats. My barn hunt dog watching rats that were trained, socialized, and felt comfortable around dogs being watched by my barn hunt dog. The same rats we use in our house to train the barn hunt dog. And they blacklisted me because how dare I let my barn hunt dog around rats that are used to train the barn hunt dog. My bad. Shouldn't have ever let my barn hunt dog around a rat. My dog just shouldn't do barn hunt. Got it.
Despite this fixation, Crow would still bring Nifty out in public. WanderingPaws claims that she would train the loose leash walking with Nifty because Crow wanted that, which I think is interesting.
It's been pretty cold here, so it's been too cold for me to take any of the dogs on hikes, so they've all gotten a little cooped up. And so today I took Nifty to Lowe's for a training session on loose leash walking, which is one of the things Crow asked me to work on. And because Nifty is so readily willing to turn around, I am using the method of when she pulls, I stop, and she has to turn around and come back to me, at least mostly, and then she will get a treat and we can move forward again. So the first video here is from the beginning of the training session, and then halfway through. Right now we're switching to near the end of the session. Now I picked Lowe's very purposefully because it was going to be an easier location than a location with a lot of dogs, like a pet store, and it was also going to be easier than some of the pet-friendly stores that have food in them. Just encountering and seeing humans is enough of a distractor for the beginning stages of Nifty's loose leash walking training. I was pleased.
Considering Nifty was a service dog in training, Nifty can't even do a heel, and I think that also confirms the clip earlier about doing the checking corners task. All because you get a dog and claim that dog is a service dog in training, that does not make that dog a service dog in training. You do have to put in effort. Not only did Nifty have the fixating problem, whenever they could not go for a walk, Nifty had to use 3 stimulation toys, if nothing else, because Nifty was unmanageable unless they did that.
So it is going to be less than 20 degrees all day today, so the dogs are not getting a walk. And Nifty here is the one that needs some sort of mental stimulation and or exercise the most. So she is getting her food in 3 puzzle toys, basically, so that she will work for her food, and that makes my job a lot easier, providing her some mental stimulation. So here is the first one, is the tire she's eating from, and then she has this one here that she can roll, and then she has the Kong wobbler.
In my opinion, I don't think Nifty was ever taught to settle or calm down and is constantly looking and doing things, whether that's fixating on something, doing the stimulation toys, wanting to go outside, bothering the other dogs. I don't think Nifty was really able to calm down. I know I'm focusing on the dogs on this, but I'm gonna give you a little background into Rebecca, or Wandering Paws. I'm gonna show you the ASF enclosure and treatment.
Today was soil changeout day for one grouping of my ASFs, and then when I do that, I also rearrange their equipment in the cage, and I also added one new tunnel because they really love these underground tunnels and use them heavily. ASFs in the wild are burrowing species, but they tend to take over burrows that other animals created, which is why I'm giving them some like pre-made burrows, and soil is what would be natural to them in the environment. Their old soil went into this bin, and I added 1.5 gallons of water, and next I will add some isopods because they will process the poop and basically help recycle the soil so I can reuse the soil later.
I believe in this clip I counted 11 or 12 of these ASFs, and I could be mistaken, but I believe there is that many.
Today was soil changeout day for one grouping of my ASFs. And then I do that, I also rearrange their equipment in the cage.
Whenever I looked around this enclosure, I don't see any type of real bedding material, no enrichment, and not enough hiding for these many creatures. It looks very messy, and I don't mean in a good way. It's also very small. It is way too small for that many of those rodents to live together. This is recommended by other ASF owners that I talked to, as well as I did research online to many other different types of owners, and they showed this housing for 3 to 6 ASFs. This is not the first time that Wandering Paws has tried to shove other animals into smaller enclosures. Wandering Paws has 2 leopard geckos. Both of them are females and they are younger. At the time of recording this, we're young and being housed together. I went on research, again, just like I did with the ASFs, of other Leo owners and other websites and care, and it is generally not recommended to house them together. They can be territorial, aggressive, and will steal warm spots, hidens, food, and even lash out. Wandering Paws insists that it is okay because they have not reached their sexual maturity yet, and if they are housed together at a younger age, there is a higher chance of them getting along. While this can be true, it is still not recommended. Other Leo owners state that while they may tolerate and live in each other's space, not only do you need a very large enclosure, lots of hidings, but also they could just be unhappy. Wandering Paws mentions how one Leo is more shy than the other, and they are constantly in each other's spaces, meaning that this is not a friendly space sharing thing.
Ruth and Ida continue to thrive, and they continue to choose to spend most of their sleeping time in hides together. They continue to grow at the same rate. Ida is much shyer than Ruth, so she would prefer to view me from a distance. I think I should be able to start the initial handling training with Ruth pretty soon, and she has no problem being really close to me, particularly when there's food involved.
Even if it was doable for them to both live together, it's not ideal, and that enclosure is not big enough for them to both coexist happily. Wandering Paws has so many pets. A crowded house, and in my opinion, bad animal husbandry. You can make your own conclusions, but I do not trust Wandering Paws in the slightest. And I guess it is worth mentioning that Wandering Paws had a demo dog that was so severely reacted it would break down doors and gates to get to other dogs, and even tried to bite Oakley.
Easy, bud.
Lucifer is one of the dogs that I mostly showed about his weight, but of course, like I said earlier in this video, I'm gonna go into more detail. Like all of Crow's dogs, Lucifer dealt with reactivity and dog aggression. There had been times where Crow admitted that Lucifer had shown full-blown reactions toward other dogs. There are also video clips of Lucifer reacting badly at the vet. Now, of course, Lucifer is injured here and very malnourished, but it is still reactivity.
Easy. Easy. Can't really walk you.
These clips that I just showed will probably pop up again later in the video because the vet visit ties in with a story later on. Crow then put an ad up on TikTok saying that Lucifer is going to be put into the care of a temporary foster when Crow finds one. And this is small, but still with the reactivity and fixation, Lucifer also has a problem with smaller animals. I think animals in general, and just fixates on birds while working. As usual, we have some clips and pictures of Lucifer working in environments very stressed.
Good boy. You freaked out a little at the drums, and that's okay. Good job. Oakley, sit. Oh. Oakley. Oh, you like the fun cars? Oh, look at that fun one. Okay. Oh, look at that cool car. Did you have fun? Yeah, were the drums a little scary? If I knew they would scare you, I would have brought your earmuffs, bud. Good.
And this is a pattern, like I said, of all of Crow's dogs working. They are just unhappy. There was an incident regarding Crow and Lucifer at the hospital. I will read these messages.
Jane, can you get Lucifer for the night? Bro, they're gonna try to make him go to Bev's. I need you to answer me now. This is important. Fuck your bro's birthday. This is more important right now. Bev's? For what? Pick up. Crow, just text it. I'm with my family for his birthday. Because he barked, they're saying he can't stay here, so they're gonna send him there. But why Bev's and for what? Even though he was brought right back under control. Because that's where they send the dogs. Sounds like he did it more than once, but still. When will you get him back? He didn't though, that's the thing. He jumped on one nurse yesterday by accident. That was him being disruptive then, according to them. Like, what the fuck?
After these text messages, I also have a re-account from an anonymous person in the Facebook group who allegedly witnessed this. I'm just going to read the comment from this. I was not there, but I am going to choose to believe it basing from the information we have. You are free to believe it or not.
Tapping in, the day Lucifer was taken, I saw it happen. Crow was propped up in the UVM waiting room.
curled in a blanket, sleeping, looking like they were just staying in the waiting room for the night. A man and his wife walked by, not noticing the dogs, and Lucifer jumped up and reacted and barked multiple times. Oakley did also let out a single bark. Crow very aggressively put Lucifer back in a down. Very quickly, UVM security came and told Crow to remove the dog, citing the incidents the night before. They argued and finally agreed to let Lucifer go with Burlington Animal Control. Crow did attempt to make a bunch of calls for a foster. Lucifer was taken in back and put into a crate. I've never seen a dog so scared in my life. When I left the ER, Crow was still sleeping in the ER waiting room. Everyone else who came after them had gotten a room. Crow seemed very unstable, and honestly, I felt very sorry for them. I'd recognized them from online and remembered how volatile they were. The ER staff seemed very frustrated with them. Whenever Lucifer was in the care of Bevs, he was so restless and would not stop pacing and jumping that he eventually broke his leg.
Hey, stop stealing food. Caught you red-handed. Hi, buddy. Oh, hey, baby boy. You want to go in your crate? Come on. Come on. I know you want Oakley to play with you, but Oakley can't play. No. In there. No. Go in there. Luci, honey, buddy. Baby, Oakley. Back off. Luci, go. Go in there. There you go, my baby boy. Oh, you poor baby. I know. Go back. No, go back.
That is why in these clips he has that broken leg, and someone else besides Crow had to take care of Lucifer because Crow is incapable of doing so.
Easy. Easy, bud.
Even though Lucifer had a broken leg, Crow would still put on the working vest with the patches on Lucifer and claim they did not know that those patches were there and swore they did not work them. I don't know if they did work him or not. Lucifer's original name was actually Wally. Lucifer was at an amazing weight, perfectly normal and happy, and was also comfortable at being in public. Once he was in Crow's care, it went downhill. Not only did he start quickly losing weight, Crow would also encourage his jumping habits to make it look like he was alerting. I'm going to show a clip of Lucifer tasking, and you can make your choice whether or not he really did that. In my opinion, he was jumping to try and get the treat. With Lucifer losing weight rapidly, and so obviously, it was bound to be pointed out. Crow was very cocky about this. He even made up lies saying that the Animal Control had already dealt with him and there was a case closed and they said that Lucifer was just fine. And Crow also likes to make up that they will try and sue Bev for trying to apprehend the dogs. From November 2025 to January 2026, Lucifer had lost a lot of weight and had become skin and bones.
But I would say, based on his body condition, he could definitely gain anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds. Okay. So how much do we know how much they're feeding now, like cups wise or anything?
I do not. I know I dropped some food off for them the day after Christmas. Yeah. Because they're current.
Crow would try and blame this on a possible cancer diagnosis, which was obviously just a front and was never confirmed. Lucifer was never diagnosed with that, and it was just a way to buy some time.
A chunt on Facebook.
Yep. Also, did you know the dog that just had a worm test, a food allergy test, and now has to have a test for a couple other things that I'm gonna cry about. Is so neglected.
Definitely.
He's gonna be tested for cancer as well as issues with thyroid.
Those are good things to rule out. Expensive, but good things to rule out.
No, if it comes back as cancer, we both know what I'm gonna do. They're just gonna check to make sure they went to the appointment. They're not gonna come out for calls anymore, so people can call them all they fucking want. But they're aware that my dogs are not being neglected. Because I've been working with them completely honest of what's going on with my dogs and their health. And completely honest of the tests Lucifer's getting done and what happens depending on those test results. I flat out told him if it comes back as cancer, I'm putting this dog down. A bunch of people try to claim I've been neglecting the dogs because Lucifer's extremely skinny when they don't realize that even his vets are saying this is a medical issue and not a feeding issue. Because mind you, when they check, you know how they can see if a dog's malnourished between his blood work? The vets even said his blood work was phenomenal and there were no signs of malnourishment in his blood work. So his weight loss is not malnourishment. His weight loss is a genetic problem or a medical issue. So the people who are trying to say, I'm starving him, I'm not feeding him enough, his blood work says otherwise. That's not the problem. The problem is probably a thyroid issue or cancer. After that, if they still can't figure it out, if it's something that they cannot find from tests, I'm probably gonna put him down and get a necropsy. Because if he's dropping weight and there's nothing I can do, because right now he's on high calorie as fuck, like veterinary grade high calorie food. Veterinary grade high calorie food is what he's on right now, like high calorie puppy veterinary grade food. And that's barely even helping. It's not even helping that much. So, like, it's not and you watch me bump and bump up and bump up his food as he continued to drop and drop and drop and drop.
Yep.
Like, Rebecca was there as I was upping and upping and upping this dog's food to all ever-loving hell, thinking it's my fucking fault or it's the same shit Nifty had, which it's not Nifty. It's probably worse. Yay! You were supposed to be my normal one. You were not supposed to join your sister in the medical expenses. Did you know that?
So I passed my normal course on to you so that my puppy can be normal.
You say Butters was supposed to be your normal one and Edith turns out.
Also, Scooby, what was negative was Lucifer's thyroid test.
Yeah, he doesn't have hyperthyroidism, which means it's cancer GI. I'm gonna cry.
So what does that mean for Lucifer?
Lucifer's old owner would try and tell Crow exactly what to feed him, and Crow would admit that they were limiting because Lucifer eats it so fast, which means Crow was trying to ration the food because Crow did not have the money to buy more food. There's also text messages of someone who lives with Crow at the time admitting the dog did not eat for 2 days. That Crow can get a large drink at the mall but not ask for extra cash for their dog or even dog food for their fucking dog. I did explain in my last video and show that someone did try to give Crow food. Food was only supposed to last one healthy dog 4 days and Crow stretched it out over a week, which shows Crow does withhold food. Writing Oakley's script took me a little bit longer because as I am recording this video currently, there are still things happening constantly and I was gathering more and more and I wanted these to be in the video. Of course, Oakley also fixated on birds. There is nothing new about that because all of Crow's problems had an issue with it, but I still want to mention with it just how problematic Crow's training is. There is also a story Crow told about Oakley reacting to another dog. I do believe this clip is older, but I am still going to show it.
So I've been debating whether or not to post this out of fear of getting hated on. But I do think it's important to post this because it really just highlights that service dogs are not robots and they will make mistakes. So last night when we went to the parade, if you saw the videos, you would have seen there were dogs at the parade. And some of those dogs, 2 black labs, got walked up to us. One of the black labs got in Oakley's space, startled Oakley because it was dark out, and Oakley reacted. I immediately pulled her back under control. She did not react before that or after that. It was like a one time, a dog startled her, she reacted. It was immediately corrected and has not happened since. And we saw other dogs at that event after that incident, and other dogs came up to her, sniffed her butt, everything with no issue. So that one dog just spooked her and she had a reaction.
So do you ever think before you speak, or do you always just talk out your ass? My dogs get charged by dogs all the time, yes, but very rarely do my dogs actually get attacked. And I did everything I could to keep my dog from getting attacked with that specific dog. This other dog has a clueless handler who lets her dog walk up to any other dog or any person it fucking wants. It is most definitely a fake service dog. I told her before she even allowed her dog anywhere near Oakley, do not let your dog approach my dog. My dog is working. What she then did was let her dog run and go over top of Oakley, who was laying down. Oakley showed all the signals in the book that she would like that dog to get out of her motherfucking space, including backing away, which is when I started kicking the other dog away and telling the lady, get your dog away from my dog. She didn't listen. Oakley decided to growl, and the dog decided to bite her in the face.
Oakley cannot reliably task. I have had 2 accounts of people telling stories about Oakley as well as video proof of Oakley not even doing a task when prompted, and it's having to take a lot of tries and coaxing to even get Oakley to respond. Oakley has also stolen treats whenever Crow passed out in public. If your dog directly goes towards treats instead of working, then I think that is a wake-up call for your dog's priority and how you train them. Oakley is also not fit to work because Oakley has issues with lunging and aggression. Whether that be it from the stress of not eating or just aggression of not being properly trained and socialized or being so pressured to perform, it is still dangerous. I am going to read text from when this happened.
Why did Oakley try to attack Andy? She didn't try. She got scared. Crow, yes she did. I get she got scared, but she did lunge at him twice and all he was doing was petting Max. Then he asked if he could pet Oakley and you said no, and that's okay, but then she tweaked out again. Me, Tina, and Barney and Andy all saw it, and employees saw it. Look, I'm not hating or anything at all. I know Oakley was scared, but I called the store so I could understand what fully happened, and they said that and proceeded to say she was also tweaking out on an employee. She don't like people leaning over her, especially when already being in high-stress situations multiple times that day. He wasn't leaning, he was a good few feet away. He leaned down to pet Max when she tweaked the first time. I get that, but even Pepper won't react like that towards people. He never tried to bite, period. Also, she did not try to attack anyone. Crow, she lunged. I love you as a friend, but she did, even if it was out of fear. And Oakley did not at all try to bite. She barked. Trying to bite and barking are two different things. Crow, we all saw it. She lunged while barking. She got too close to him, his hand was red, then you walked away and tried to calm her down. Look, I'm not mad and I'm not saying she's a bad dog, but she did what she did. She never tried to bite. She barked. Not one time did she try to bite. She barked and I walked away and calmed her down. Crow, listen to me. You said to me yourself, sometimes you like to not pay attention to it because I get it. She is your baby and I get that you had to have me look at Lucifer because you needed to not be caught by your own brain. So I'm telling you what we all saw, that was barking, lunging, and means to bite if close enough. Then she did it again. When she barked at a worker, but again, she did not try to attack anyone. Mind you, she does that same barking thing with all my friends when they come over in the exact same way, and not once has she tried to attack or bite. She also does have some barking and lunging behavior when she's excited. I'm just explaining that that's how she acts when excited if she gets overexcited. And with the worker, she was not going forward, she was going backward. I'm glad, very glad you're working on it, but that's what excited. I'm glad you're working on that excitement thing, but this was something different. Something way more concerning and something that needs to step back, training, and focus. I am aware, and this is the first time she has done that to a random person in public. She typically only does that with friends entering our apartment. I don't know why it happened in public. Typically, she only does it outside, like on walks if she sees someone she likes or in our apartment. So you're saying she isn't friendly with your friends? Because today I had a PetSmart that wasn't friendly at all, period. All dogs behave differently, and yes, she is friendly, she does that, and then demands pets. She is very friendly with my friends. She does that whenever excited. Not every dog that barks and lunges forward is being aggressive. I can tell you right now with 100% certainty, she would not have tried to bite even if she was close. I'm not going to argue about it, I'm telling you how my dog shows her excitement. Well, when Jane called the store, they confirmed that she did not bite him. Like Jane called the store, and the store themselves confirmed all she did was sort of trying to jump towards him and get over to him. The store has already confirmed that to Jane, and I have Jane live also confirming that. And I'm already aware that the behavior was inappropriate, and it is something I let her have a couple days of rest with and did some mock situations of very similar things, and she did not react towards that. So I do think she was just very trigger-stacked from everything going on. I also have reached out to one of my trainer friends in the area who's going to do some assessing with her with this week.
And there was a post made by Crow because I had said on my stream that Oakley had shown signs of aggression, and this is where that call with the officer came up, which I will talk about in a moment. There was no proof posted, of course, and you could say that we are just relying on text information, but Crow is admitting that Oakley did pull towards someone, which would be lunging, and did bark, and Crow says that this is friendly in nature, but what else could you say when your dog acts like that? There are also clips of Crow admitting, oh, Oakley gets nervous, or Oakley's getting a little and trails off. There's a lot going on in here today.
I know, that's why Oakley's feeling a little overwhelmed.
I think this also adds to proof that Oakley is not reliable, and Crow knows that and does not trust their own dog. Very quickly after that incident, Crow was back to working Oakley in public, and when their friend asked, why are you working Oakley? They said it was for the bus because the bus only allows service dogs. But there are videos and pictures of Crow working Oakley even after that. I am going to show some clips of Oakley working stressed and how uncomfortable they are being in public and Crow working them anyways.
In your hospital outfit. Your Grey's Anatomy outfit. Is that your hospital outfit? Yeah, it's your hospital outfit. Come here. You do not get pets from randoms. You can go to Rebecca and get pets. Go get pets. Go get your pets. You want to go get your pets? Go. She's like, no. Oh, yes. Yes, you are. Mother is now paying attention. She got her Grey's Anatomy vest.
Crow does have a boyfriend, Josh, and in my opinion, I believe that he mistreats Oakley. In this clip, Oakley barks and Josh, the boyfriend, is obviously very annoyed, and it sounds like if you listen closely, he throws a hanger. You can tell he shifts and something hits the wall, and it sounds just like throwing a hanger. I have thrown many hangers at my siblings in my lifetime.
This dog was pissing and shitting everywhere. I mean, like, everywhere. It was disgusting.
Oakley! Oakley, get over here! You're a shithead. You know that?
In this clip, it sounds like he's saying you can kick Oakley to make her lay down.
You're trying to kick her to lay down. Lay down.
This is allegedly, I'm not saying he does, but that is what I hear from these clips, and that is what I'm going to believe. We're going to talk about Oakley's general care now. It's going to be a bit long, but I have tried to put this in sections where it makes sense. Whenever Crow does feed Oakley, as rare as that may be, they overfeed her and claim how she eats it extremely fast, but despite this, Crow will not get Oakley a slow feeder. I believe because they can't afford it, or they don't care. Either one. Or both. I also think Crow overfeeds Oakley to give the illusion that Oakley eats a lot.
So, you don't know my dog, nor the brand of food I feed my dog. For her weight class on the back of the bag of food I feed my dogs, it says 5 to 6 cups. For her weight class. Add on to that the fact that that is for a pet, not a working dog. Working dogs walk miles and miles a day. They do a lot in the day and burn a ton more calories than any pet dog would ever burn. Especially my dog, who's walking 5, 6, sometimes 10, 12 miles a day. She is not going to be fed the same as a pet in any capacity because she burns through a lot more calories than a pet. So please try to tell me how to feed my dog when I'm following the advice of my vet based off of the food I feed. You're a stranger online. You don't know what food I feed my dog. You know nothing about my dog. Stop telling me how much to feed her.
Currently claims that Oakley is only 1 or 2 pounds underweight, and that past pictures was because Oakley refused to eat for 3 days. But in these pictures, you can see Oakley's hip bone. You can see her spine. She looks very skinny. In this clip, Crow is saying that Oakley only ate puppy food because it's what Crow had on hand. And then the next day, Crow got the correct food and donated the puppy food.
If you're coming at me from that blacklist post, being like, oh, she feeds her adult dog puppy food. She was fed puppy food for 1 night, and that's because that's what I had on hand, and her previous owners forgot to pack the previous food she was on. literally the next morning, I went and picked up what I had in the puppy food, which was pedigree, in the adult form. I then donated the rest of that puppy pedigree to Humane Society so it could go to a dog who needs it. My dog ate puppy food for one night because it is all I had on hand and I didn't have time to take a bus and go get a new bag of food. Like, I'm so sorry for keeping my dog fed that night. I should have just let her starve, because apparently to you guys that would have been better than feeding her what was on hand. Y'all are ridiculous. Leave me alone.
Crow does not have a lot of funds, and that's why I don't believe Crow immediately went out to go get the right food. I believe Crow did continue to feed this puppy food, and there's nothing wrong with needing help, and if this was a one-time thing, I wouldn't even bat my eye, but it is very common of withholding food from their dogs. A lot of the times, Crow's friends are buying them dog food, which I'm glad that the dogs are getting fed. It's still concerning. Crow claims that this small bag will last them. I really hope it's not true. I hope they don't try to stretch this out for 3 weeks or a month. For a hot minute, Crow was claiming that Oakley was actually overweight. That Oakley needed to lose weight. Crow claiming that they did not do any mobility on Oakley because Oakley is too overweight to do mobility at the moment. I also didn't believe. Nowhere in Crow's history of posting Oakley has there ever been a picture of Oakley weighing that much. Crow claims their dog is 70 to 90 pounds.
That's really funny because my dog is between 70 to 90 pounds. Somewhere in that range. I'm not exactly sure what her weight is. And I can keep her from pulling me to something. So, realistically, you should be able to handle a 60-pound dog. If you cannot handle the dog, don't have it.
Not only, yes, that is overweight, I don't see a picture where Oakley is 70 to 90 pounds. This is obviously just copium to try and get people off of their back and claiming that their dog needs to lose weight and they're so responsible for helping their dog lose weight. I think it's a cover-up story for the lack of food. You will see in these pictures how Oakley slowly deteriorated in a short amount of time. I will put the dates on the photos.
Oh, it's all the way at the fucking... Oakley is still currently working at a very low weight. Like I said before, these pictures are updated. This was taken in May of this year. Depending on when this video came out, it was this month. I'm recording this May 17th. It's probably going to be out soon, but these photos were very recent. The Battle of Animal Control. This saga is very confusing.
not really, it's pretty straightforward. Crow's wrong. Crow will swear up and down that this case is closed and they can't take their dogs away. But I'm gonna show emails where the case is still open and there is still an investigation going on. At one point, when I was still live on TikTok, Crow went live themselves and called an officer trying to prove that their case was closed. Crow had called and asked if they could give any information about their case being closed, and he said he can't because there's another officer assigned to it because it's still active.
The case, I don't know if you can confirm that that case was closed.
Because he took it over, no. Unfortunately, not my incident anymore. It's not. I thought you probably know more about it than I do at this point.
Yeah.
But let me...
The problem is...
So we're gonna do that.
You're on live.
I'm aware.
For what reason?
Because I'm proving a fucking point that I ain't playing with this fucking bullshit anymore. And they can get...
I'm gonna grab a fucking shotgun and go shoot some nigga. I don't give a fuck.
No, don't do that. I care. Stop it.
Nigga, I'm fucking tired of this shit.
You think I'm not?
No, I have to prove a fucking point. Because I'm fucking retard.
Because somebody literally fucking went and decided that they were gonna threaten my friend's life last night.
This live stream also had Crow saying that I was harassing them and spreading misinformation online, which I haven't. Everything I've said has either been my opinion with allegedly. That protects you. If I haven't said that, then I just show screenshots of what I'm saying to prove what I'm saying. Currently, Oakley is still being worked as a service dog and put into stressful situations. You can see from pictures that Oakley has just shut down and Crow crosses Oakley's boundaries for the sake of laughs and internet views. Anything Crow says is probably fake. I, again, would not trust Crow to tell me what's in the mirror when they look in it. I don't trust Crow with anything because Crow is a pathological liar. I hope that case does go somewhere and those dogs are saved. While I was writing the script for this video, I decided to put some messages between Crow and a friend about WanderingPaws, or Rebecca. This person, who is still holding Nifty, may not be as close to Crow as she thought she was.
Bro, this bitch needs to stop trying to get me to rehome Nifty before she gets thrown off a cliff. What? Becca. All that shit. All the fuck abuse shit from Rebecca. I don't know if I missed anything, honestly. It's 1 in the morning, don't ask me. But I know that it makes sense to him. Then fuck. And here are messages of Crow talking about Nala in the Paw Trick service team. They're actually pretty good friends as far as I know. The fact that Nala does not recall off of other dogs without a fucking shock collar. I can't say any of this without her going, well, Oakley pooped in PetSmart when you first had her. And the thing is, she has said multiple times if I talk about anything that Nala does publicly, she'll talk about mistakes Oakley has made when I first got Oakley, like from the first 2 months I had her. I'm literally being blackmailed over here.
I believe Crow tries to place blame on other people whenever they feel they're getting a little bit of hot water, or a little bit of accusations are thrown their way, and they are trying to accuse WanderingPaws of abusing Nifty and disliking what WanderingPaws is suggesting to them. Crow is definitely not aware that I have these messages, and I don't think WanderingPaws is going to be watching my video anytime soon, but it's a little interesting how quick Crow is to throw someone under the bus. I do appreciate y'all's support whenever I upload these videos. It does help a lot. I am not monetized on YouTube because I don't like censoring my words. I don't like using shit like unalived or whatever the fuck. I think that's corny. I'm talking about serious topics, so I'm going to use serious words. And that is why I don't upload these full videos on TikTok, because I am monetized on there and these videos would strike that guideline and get me taken down very quick. Thank you for your support, and bye.
That Ozone wants to run their little fucking mouth. All this shit and claim that my dogs are abused. Funniest thing. Shit's gonna be handled.